Welcome back to the WNM podcast. We are now on episode 9 of our Rediscover series. Firstly, we would like to thank all our wonderful subscribers and kind followers who have supported the growth of this podcast since it began early this year. We hope we continue together in the journey of soul discovery of what we are all capable of. We're diving into a powerful promise of God on this episode, which is found in the book of Jeremiah, specifically in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. This verse reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Today we'll explore its historical context, its implications for our lives, and how we can find assurance and direction through this promise God declares for us. Therefore, let's set the stage. The book of Jeremiah was written during a time of exile for the Israelites. They were taken from their homeland and found themselves in Babylon, feeling lost and hopeless. The key point here is that Jeremiah was a prophet who provided messages from God to the people. In this context, the Israelites were struggling with their identity and purpose for living. I'm sure we've all had that kind of experience or encounter in our journey through life. The second key point is that the letter containing chapter 29 was sent to the exiles, reminding them that despite their circumstances, God had not forgotten them. So basically, since prophets are God's messengers, we can safely say God was the one writing a letter to the beloved people. So it certainly was God himself reminding them that he is actively solving their needs, even if they are not aware of it. So, the significance of Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. It's not just a comforting phrase, it's a promise of God's unwavering plans for his people even in the darkest of times. Remember, this was sent as a reminder, meaning that at some point they had forgotten that God is active for them always, even when it doesn't seem like it or feel like it. This remains true even for us in this day and age, when we also experience trials and end up overwhelmed to the point of forgetting what it's like to have goodness around and peace of mind that God is in control. Now let's break down the verse into its key components. It starts by assuring the people that, "For I know the plans I have for you." This speaks to God's omniscience and care. He has a personal investment in our lives, and in our current lives, this reassures us that we are not random or forgotten. We have purpose. Secondly, it's declared that he has plans to prosper you and not to harm you. This prosperity is not just financial but holistic, as it encompasses emotional, spiritual, and relational well-being. So, in application to our lives, it becomes essential to trust that challenges can lead to growth, as God's plans often unfold in ways we don't initially and preferentially understand. Thirdly, it's declared that he plans to give you hope and a future. This again means hope is a powerful motivator. It helps us endure and overcome obstacles. So hope is a tool to be used, not something to be found, but we inherently have it, and it is active to guide our souls through God's plan, specifically when we don't understand the full scope of its outcome. In our lives today, especially during difficult times, holding on to hope can guide our decisions and actions and keep us from forgetting that God is still invested in us. Just like the fact that just because you can't feel the wind brush on your skin at times doesn't mean it is not blowing either way. The key takeaway here is, just like the Israelites, we may face moments of uncertainty, but it's crucial to remember, and again, I repeat, remember that God is invested in your prosperous future, right where you are, right now. He hasn't changed his mind about us. If there is one thing I've understood about God's creative nature, it is that when he creates, the final verdict for that creation has to be declared good. So until your life is declared good, trust God always to still be actively solving and mapping it to a good finish. As we wrap up this episode, remember that Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 is more than just a verse. It's a declaration from God. Whether you're experiencing difficulty or seeking direction, know that God has a good plan for you that includes hope and a future. Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom of Naive Minds. If you found this episode meaningful, Please share it with others who might need a reminder of God's promise. Don't forget to subscribe and follow for updates and more new episodes to come, where we'll fossick through another empowering declaration to unlock your potential. Until next time, take care.